Hey guys, I hope you're doing great. It's the Tipsy Intuitive here with your Pick a Sip reading, where we will take a look at what messages your spirit guides have for you. So we have 4 delicious cocktails. Group number 1 is Rum Punch. Group number 2 is Tequila Shot. Group number 3 is Apple Martini, and group number 4 is Amaretto. So each of these cocktails are going to have their own reading. So take a minute, pause the video if you need to, meditate on which one of these you're most drawn to, and let's jump right into the readings. Hey group 1, if you picked the Rum Punch, then this reading is for you. So we're going to be looking at what messages your spirit guides have for you. So we're going to first pull a couple of oracle cards to see which spirit guide is sending you this message and what sort of area they want you to focus on in your life right now. So let's see. Okay. So the card that came out for your spirit guide is Water Guardian. Connect with your emotions. So it feels like this guide that's surrounding you, that's sending you this message, is someone who tends to be very emotional, right? They let their feelings sort of show. This is a very sensitive sort of spirit that's around you. You may or may not know who this person is, but it's someone who sort of always wore their heart on their sleeve, and they were like the epitome of lead with love, right? They sort of owned all of their emotions. They were a bit of an open book. This is someone who was not afraid to let you know how they were feeling at any given time. So the overall message that the spirit guide is sending to you is number 29, protection. So this could be, them sort of reminding you that, yes, I am here for you. Yes, you're safe. I'm always with you. Or this could be a message to you saying that perhaps you need to do a little bit more in terms of protecting yourself, maybe in terms of protecting your own emotions. But let's get into some tarot and see what the cards have to say. So let's jump right in and see what specific message your spirit guide has for you. Wow, that launched right on across the table. So we have 2 cards that came out for you. The first one is the King of Keys, which is the King of Pentacles in traditional tarot. And we also have the Muse. So what it feels like is that the message that they're giving to you, and I almost feel as though this may have something to do with your finances, because we do have the King of Pentacles here. But this is sort of a little bit of gentle advice that is telling you to follow your heart, because that's what's going to give this sort of stability. That's what's going to bring you into this sort of age of abundance that you may have been looking for. So, there's very much a sense that the spirit guide wants you to look around this world and see the beautiful things that you see, to figure out what it is that inspires you and follow that inspiration. It almost feels as though they've been sort of looking at you and knowing your heart, knowing the things that you want out of life, and things just don't seem to be moving for you. And it almost feels as though your guide is sort of in a place of saying, well, this is what makes you happy. Why don't you do this? This could sort of shake things up. This could move you in the direction that you want to go in. So why aren't you doing it? Now, why this message is important for you to hear, why they want you to know it, we have reflection in reverse. We have the 6 of Scrolls, or the 6 of Swords in reverse, the Sands of Time. And we also have birth upright. So what I'm feeling, why it's so important for you to get this message from them right now, it's because I don't know that you have been sort of truly considering what makes your heart happy. It almost feels as though you haven't sort of taken into account what it is that you truly want out of life and what it is that's going to actually get you there. It's almost like this sort of fleeting little feeling that you have sitting way down in your stomach, like, oh, this would be nice, but you haven't really given much thought to it afterwards. And as a result, with the Six of Swords in reverse, things have been a little bit stagnant for you, I think. There hasn't been a sense of moving forward, moving towards these goals that you've sort of set for yourself. And I think that with this message, especially with the birth card coming out last and upright, this is your guide's way of saying that this is your time to create something new. The possibility is there, it exists for you, but you're going to have to sort of take advantage of it. But there are opportunities that are here for you. So let's take a peek at what help is available to you. How are your guides trying to help you right now? We have the One of Forces, or the Ace of Wands, the Akashic Field. And so I feel like with this card, it's pretty clear, right? We started in a place of them wanting you to sort of tap into the things that make you happy, the things that inspire you, the things that light a fire under you. And now here we have the One of Forces, or the Ace of Wands, the Akashic Field. And so this is very much a sense of your guide trying to ignite this fire in you. It almost feels as though they are sort of sending signals towards you, things that you feel good about, things that excite you. They're putting those things in your direction so that you can have this new beginning, so that you can have this birth that's right here. So looking at what you need to do moving forward, as they're sending you all of these signs and these pieces of inspiration, we have Hilarion. So this card is always super interesting because here we have someone who is sort of dressed in this red robe, right? And we know that red typically symbolizes passion and fire and excitement. And that was everything that your guides were trying to bring you to. So we have this guy who's like cloaked in red. He's studying this book. He's learning. He's observing. He's taking in all of this information. And if you can see here, we have two figures who are watching over them very, very calmly, but they're transparent. So we can assume that they're not really in their physical human form right now. But this is someone who is studying. This is someone who's taking it all in. They're doing the research. So I think that for you, this is you examining what it is that makes you happy, that gets you excited, and figuring out how you can sort of translate that into the work that you do. Because again, I do feel like this is very, very career related. And so something that you're doing right now is not necessarily fulfilling you, but it feels as though there's a way out. You just need to sort of think your way through it. This is a time for you to sort of dig in and do research. So looking at the last card out for your tarot spread, which is your potential outcome, we have Archangel Michael. And so Archangel Michael is the great defender. He is the great protector. So understand that if you embark on this path of thinking through how to take something that excites you, something that just lights you up from inside, and translating that in a way that you can make money, understand that you are protected in that journey. That, you know, there's not really anything that you need to worry about, because it feels like those steps, this sort of new chapter, this new birth, is something that is being divinely orchestrated by you. And it's interesting because remember we had the protection card come out for the sort of overall energy surrounding this reading for you. And then we finish up with Archangel Michael, the great protector. So understand that you exploring your passions is going to be something that is protected by the spirit guides that you have around you. So there's nothing for you to worry about, Rum Punch. Take some time, explore the world, figure out what lights that spark inside of you, because it looks like nothing but goodness is going to come from it. So for your final oracle card, we have Siggy, quiet time. Take some quiet time alone to rest, to meditate, and contemplate. And so again, remember we saw that here in why the message is important, because it doesn't feel as though you've necessarily taken some time out to just sort of sit and explore your options. And so with this, I feel like your guides are reinforcing that you need to take a moment and to just be still and to think through your life, what you want it to look like, what excites you, and then follow those divinely ordered steps to get there. So Rum Punchers, I'm going to leave it there for you. I hope that this was helpful. If it was, make sure to like, share, and subscribe. But in the meanwhile, stay safe, stay healthy, and I am sending you all huge hugs. Hey, group number 2. If you all picked the tequila shot, then this reading is for you. We are going to jump right in and pull some oracle cards and see what spirit guide is currently trying to communicate with you. What spirit guide is trying to communicate with group number 2? They're a little quiet. That's interesting. The first groups popped out pretty quickly, but let's see. All right, we got 1. Oh, wow. Okay, we got 3. Interesting. We'll take all of them. So the first spirit guide that's speaking, we have the warrior. Be fearless and stand strong. We also have the hermit. Retreat and recharge. And we also have Spirit Fox, your talents in changing times. So maybe that was the reason for the delay in the cards coming out, is that you have quite a few folks who are trying to communicate. So I almost feel like there are sort of 3 distinct, folks that are trying to come through for you. So the first one was the warrior. So this is someone who is extraordinarily strong. They're very present. They're very thoughtful. It almost feels like this person was very strategic. They may have been in a position of leadership at some point in their life, but they sort of knew how to navigate. They knew how to assess a situation, map out all of their options. And when they were sort of convinced of something that they should do, something that they should say, there was very little that would actually get in the way of them doing exactly that. So this is someone who stood very firm in their beliefs, someone who, once they made a decision, like that was the hill that they were going to die on. They were going to fight for, everything that they deserved, fight for what it is that they wanted to say, wanted to do, opportunities, all of that good stuff. So we also have the hermit. So this is a much more quiet energy. This is someone who seeks knowledge. They seek understanding. And so this guide may have been someone who in their sort of physical life tended to keep to themselves, may have been incredibly smart, but very quiet. So they tended to observe the world around them and get whatever lessons and knowledge that they could. They didn't necessarily reveal everything they knew, but when you had the opportunity to sort of speak with them, they were just like mind-blowingly intelligent. So that's number 2, very thoughtful energy. And then the last one that we have out for you, your spirit fox. So looking at your talents and your wits and things like that. So I feel like this is a guide who understood what they brought to this world, how they showed up to people, and they made the most of that, right? When we think about the fox, it's like something that's very sly, very cunning, very shrewd. And I'm getting a very fun energy looking at this card. So I don't think that whoever this is was somebody who is, shrewd like Cruella de Vil or anything like that. But it's somebody who, like, I almost get like a Hollywood, like old Hollywood bombshell, right? Like they would use every inch of their femininity to get what it is that they want. So that's sort of the energy that I'm getting from this card. So you have some characters showing up in group number 2. But let's see the overall message or messages that they have for you. So we have 2 cards that came out. The first one is clarity, and the second is male relationships. All right, so for group number 2, it seems as though whatever these guides have to say very much have to do with your interaction with some type of masculine energy. So, this could be in a romantic relationship, this could be in a friendship, but there is something that is happening in your dealings with someone else. This could be a male, it could be just some sort of masculine dominant energy that you've been dealing with. But there's something here that's a little bit muddy. There's something that's a little bit uncertain. Almost what I just heard is they hold all the cards. So there might be some sort of sense of that. But let's let's jump into some tarot and see what's going on. And I do not mean to laugh, my tequila shotters, but the energy that's coming through this is frustrating, but it almost feels playful. So we will see what's going on here. So looking at the message that your guides are trying to send to you, we have the 5 of Roses, the Garden. And in traditional tarot, the 5 of Roses is the 5 of Cups. So this is a feeling of loss, of lack, of regret, of being left without something. Wow. Okay. Being left without something. And, there's a little bit of a sense, I don't want to say of hopelessness, because I don't feel like it's quite that dramatic. But what it does feel like is that there is a risk of loss here. There's a sense of missing out on something. And what we have that popped out after for a clarifier, we have the 6 of Forces, or the waterfall. And the 6 of Forces is the 6 of Wands in traditional tarot. So this is the card of victory, right? So it almost feels as though your spirit guides are trying to say, even if you feel right now that things are not turning out in your favor, that you're going to miss out on an opportunity of some sort, there is a path forward that I think will make you happy, right? That will turn out well for you. Now, why this message is important and why they need you to hear this, we have fated meeting. And we also have the 7 of Scrolls in reverse, intricacies and industry. So the 7 of Scrolls is the 7 of Swords in traditional tarot. So it's very interesting. It feels as though Spirit is trying to get this message to you because there is going to be a moment. And I feel like, again, this involves another person, some sort of masculine energy, that you may think that things are over with, or that things, that it's not going to go the direction that you want it to, that there is no growth. It feels like Spirit is telling you that yes, there is that possibility. And when that moment comes, it feels like you need to have a little bit of faith in that things can work out. I almost feel like it's faith in yourself that you can make this happen. But there is going to be this moment where I think that you are going to have to channel some of this energy that your spirit guides were putting out in terms of, amping up your charm and, sort of approaching this thoughtfully. And it's just, when I tell you that this is a really, really fun energy that you all are throwing out, it really is like super, super fun. So how your spirit guide is trying to help you. We have the Ark of the Covenant in reverse. So this feels very much like, spirit is saying any of those preconceived notions that you might have had, those sort of agreements that you made with yourself that things are not going to go in your favor, that things are not going to work out. I do feel like this is going to be, this is a situation that's going to be entirely up to you. And you can sort of hold back based on past experiences or preconceived notions about what should happen, what shouldn't happen, what you deserve, what you don't deserve, things of that nature. But I feel like Spirit is trying to let you know that whatever these doubts you have that, maybe in your subconscious, that now is a good time to sort of break that, to break that agreement that you've somehow, somewhere along the line, made for yourself. Now, looking at what you can do to sort of help this process along, we have the Six of Keys or the Increscent Moon. This is the Six of Pentacles in traditional tarot. So I feel like Spirit is saying that the best thing that you can do to help yourself in moving forward is to maintain this balance. So as you are sort of turning on your charm and exploring this other person, make sure that you sort of remain flat-footed, right? That you are standing on very stable ground, that you balance your actions with their actions, making sure that things are reciprocal, that they have that nice equal give and take component to it. So I think that there's not a whole lot for you to do except for balancing these energies that you may be feeling right now. And I will tell you that it's a little bit conflicted, but not in a negative way. Like things feel they just feel fun. They feel super light. So what we have for your potential outcome, we have the Queen of Scrolls or the Queen of Swords in reverse, and we also have Adsum. So what I think is ultimately going to come out of this situation, I think whereas you in the past may have been a little bit sharp, a little bit short, maybe not so open to this type of interaction and sort of moving forward, sort of figuring things out as you go, I think that you're going to relax into this and have a little bit more fun. But I still think at the same time, you're going to infuse that hermit logic, right? That we saw coming through from your spirit guides. That you are still going to do your research. You're going to be very, very aware of who this person is, what they're bringing to the table. This is not something I think that you're just going to frivolously kind of throw your time away on. You're going to make sure that this person is worth your time and your energy and your effort. So what's interesting is that what we have surrounding this woman who's doing this research and, kind of keeping an eye on what's happening, we have these entities around her. We have an angel, we have an older man. So these are your guides that are sort of looking out for you, right? They're making sure that you're on the right path. So I feel like there's going to be some sort of moment that comes towards you, Tequila Group, that you're going to come to a place where you understand what a relationship is with another masculine energy. I feel like it's light. I feel like it's fun. And I feel like you're going to be sort of in a place where you're sizing them up. You're evaluating them, like, yeah, should I spend time on this? Should I not? And you'll sort of go from there. It doesn't feel like it's something that you're taking super, super seriously, but being mindful at the same time. So the last card that comes out for you guys is Vesta, home. Your household situation is improving either through a move or a healthy change in the occupants. So again, this is dealing, I think, with your relationships. I want to say that it's more romantic than anything else, but it feels as though there's going to be a quote change of occupants, right? Where someone comes in and it's like, okay, now you're starting to do the getting to know you game with a little bit of flirting, a lot of sensibility, all of that good stuff. So I think that you're going to be open to this person. You're totally going to do your due diligence. You're going to do your research. But I feel like this is going to be a very, very fun interaction. So have a good time, tequilas. I hope that this was helpful. I'm going to leave it right where it is. If it was, make sure to like, share, and subscribe. But in the meanwhile, stay safe, stay healthy, and I am sending you all huge hugs. Hey, group number 3, if you picked the apple martini, then this reading is for you. We are going to jump right in and pull a couple of oracle cards and see first what spirit guide is trying to get this message through to you, and what's the energy that's surrounding this reading for you. So let's see which spirit guide is speaking to you. Maybe you can identify who they are. They are very quiet, which is super interesting. I feel like, oh, there we go. Took a while. So the card that we have out for you in terms of who your spirit guide is, we have Medicine Guardian. Be open to healing information. So whoever this is that's around you is somebody who has a very sort of quiet healing energy. This could be someone that you used to confide in. They could have been a therapist or something along those lines, but there is someone around you who is very concerned about the whole of your well-being, right? It's like everything in balance. How do we master like mind, body, and spirit? So this is a very, very peaceful energy that's around you. And so their goal is to make sure that you're good, to make sure that you're healthy and happy and whole. Now, those energy that's surrounding this reading for you, we have release and let go. So it's interesting because when we think about sort of healing, especially issues with other people, things that folks may have said or may have done, they always say that an important part of you being able to heal and move forward is to let go. Not saying that you shouldn't have any feelings towards whatever it is that happened, but that you have to sort of figure out a way to reconcile whatever it is that happened in your own mind so you can sort of release it so it doesn't have that sort of hold on you. So, just sort of off the break, I, feel a bit of serious energy surrounding this reading. And so it feels like, there's something that may be keeping you from healing. And it may have to do with letting something go that you've been holding on to for a while. But let's get into some tarot and see if we can get a little bit more information about what's going on with you guys. So we'll start first with, the specific message that your spirit guide has for you. And there are quite a few cards that came out. We'll take all of them. So the first card that we have is the Queen of Forces, or the Queen of Wands in reverse. We also have the Five of Scrolls, diversity. This is the Five of Swords in traditional tarot. We have the Scribe. We have Archangel Michael. And we also have Hilarion. Okay, so let's, hold on a second because I need to I might need to have a little something right quick because this is a lot. There is a lot happening with you all right now. Okay, we're just gonna, before we make too much of a mess. So it feels as though the message that they're trying to give to you is somehow a warning of letting your light be dimmed because of other people's actions. And it also very much feels like there is a sense of you needing to do a little bit more work when it comes to vetting people that you give your energy to, that you give your attention to. Because it feels as though the people that you have been interacting with they're not necessarily your people, is what I'm feeling here. And I almost feel like there have been situations that have occurred for you guys that seem absolutely ridiculous, like Jerry Springer created them, or something like that have absolutely imploded and kind of left you in a not so great place when it comes to your interactions with other people. Now, this could be romantic, this could be friendships. I'm feeling it a little bit of both. But this is almost like the message that your guide is giving you is saying you're going to continue to be hurt if you keep giving so much of yourself without first figuring out whether or not the people that you're giving yourself to are actually worth it. So it feels as though there's, a little bit of a need for you to do more research on the people that you surround yourself with, on the people that you sort of give your time and energy to, because it feels like you give so freely that people take advantage of it. Now, why this message is important, we have the Queen of Roses, or the Queen of Cups in traditional tarot, and we also have the Four of Scrolls, the Karmic Trench. This is the Four of Swords in traditional tarot. So it feels, again, why this is so important of a message for you to hear. It's because it's time for you to take a break. is what I'm getting more than anything. It's time for you to take a little bit of a break from giving so much to other people, because right now whatever's happening is hurting you and you're not giving yourself an opportunity, I think, to heal from this. It really feels as though you're burning yourself out from giving, and what you're getting in return is not only nothing, but it almost feels like you're getting chaos and drama. It's almost like the best of intentions that you have towards these other people somehow is never right in their eyes. And because of the person that you are, you don't want, that to be the case. You almost feel like you want to do any and everything you can to make things right, to make things good, to make things better. But the people that you're dealing with, I don't think there's ever going to be such a thing. So it's important for you to hear this before you just completely burn yourself out. Now, the way your spirit guides are trying to help you, we have up in the air in reverse. So what this seems like is that, upright, we have two people sort of looking at this hot air balloon that's kind of hovering just over the ground. It's, almost looks like it's stuck where it is. And so I feel like what spirit is doing, the way that they're helping you, is that they're making things very clear. Like they're almost putting you in situations where you can't help but look at it and say, oh no, I need to reevaluate how I'm moving with this person. I really need to rethink the nature of our relationship. So I feel like, even though some of these moments can feel a little bit harsh, I do think that your spirit guide is like literally shoving them in your face to say, do you still think that this person is for you? Do you still think that they are worth your time and energy? And, if not, how do you move forward? Like, what does that look like for you? So one of the things that you can do in sort of, moving through this process, we have caught in the ruins. So I almost feel like this is a bit of a warning card for you, that it's like, don't get so caught up, don't get stuck in these relationships that did not work out. This is just a reminder for you that you can rebuild, right? You can sort of clear these ruins away and you can rebuild with a different perspective, with better boundaries in place, making sure that you don't give 100% of yourself until you know that the other person is equally as invested. So don't get sort of stuck in this, in this ickiness, in this yuck that you've sort of been exposed to before, that you've been and maybe still are experiencing, that this is now the time to free yourself. Releasing and letting go is going to be what enables you to start this healing process, so that you are a little bit more discerning with who you allow in your physical and energetic space. So looking at your potential outcome, we have the Ark of the Covenant, the 11 card. So, this is a bit of a gateway here, right? And I feel like this is you making new agreements with yourself, that you are not going to tolerate other people's shenanigans. You are not going to be, you're not going to work to the bone for someone else's friendship, to have a relationship with other people, that you are now going to look at this sort of fair contract between you and other people, where it's like, I will give as long as you are giving as well. That it's, this agreement of a two-way street, even if you don't, write it down formally or anything. This is something in your mind that you are now looking for. So you're reshaping this narrative that you had, where you were just always giving, always trying to please others, and hurting yourself in the process. So the last oracle, okay, I was going to say the last oracle card that we have out for you, and we actually got two. We have Mawu, Mother Earth. You are called upon to help with environmentalism. And we have Cordelia. Go outside. You have been indoors too long. Go outside and get some fresh air. And so what I feel with these two cards, and it's interesting because both of them are, sort of addressing the earth, being grounded, going outside, being in nature. So I think that these cards are telling you all to reconnect with yourself. Now is the time for you to become more grounded and to find that balance, find that middle ground between giving of yourself, which seems to be sort of in your natural inclination and your natural energy, and giving so much of yourself that you get hurt because of your expectations of other people. So this is finding that solid footing, finding that middle ground between the two, and finding that balance that will keep you safe, that will keep you protected. So, getting some fresh air to me feels like getting a fresh perspective on things that have been happening. And so make sure that you pay attention to, to the things that are happening around you, because I do think that there are some pretty blatant messages that your guides want you to hear. So Apple Martini group, I'm going to leave it there for you. I hope that this was helpful and that it resonated. If it did, make sure to like, share, and subscribe. But in the meanwhile, stay safe, stay healthy, and I am sending you all huge hugs. Hey, group number 4, if you guys picked the Amaretto, then this reading is for you. We are going to jump right in and start by pulling a couple of oracle cards to see which of your spirit guides are trying to get a message through to you and what the overall energy is that's surrounding this reading for you guys. So let's start first with your spirit guide. Okay, and we have 2 that came out for you actually. So the first one is your guardian angel. You are not alone. And we also have Shield Maiden. Make plans and focus. So this card, I feel like, is pretty self-explanatory. You have a guardian angel, someone who is passed on, who is looking out for you. We have this white feather that's sort of under this very watchful eye. We have the sun and the moon in equal balance on both sides. So this is someone who has seen everything. They have seen you up through many situations, and they have never left your side. So it's interesting, what the vision that immediately came in my head was more of a grandmotherly type. Very short, very deep wrinkles on her skin, like she'd spent a lot of time outdoors, and very fluffy. White hair was almost straight and a little bit of a curl at the very end. So maybe for some of you out there, that describes a loved one who is with you still. We also have the Shield Maiden. Make plans and focus. So whomever this spirit guide is, and it feels like a very different energy from the guardian angel, this is someone who was, and I'm getting more of a feminine energy, not just because this is a maiden, but it feels like there is someone who was very protective over their household. That, you know, they were the ones who sort of held everything together. They were the ones who, you know, could always make things work. And they wanted to do that because they wanted to make sure that their family was safe, that they were protected, that they were taken care of. So it feels like there's, you know, a spirit around you who may be, you know, a part of your family, a little bit further up in the family tree, that, you know, is still being very protective of her family. This may be one of your ancestors. So we will see if they show up again in some way, shape, or form in your reading. But let's see what the overall energy is that's surrounding you guys right now. All right. For my Amaretto lovers, we have card number 18, Heart Chakra. All right. So this has something to do with your heart, with your relationships, with your interactions with other people. So I'm almost getting the feeling that you've been a bit closed off to relationships, to getting to know people, because over time it's been pretty disappointing. I think that there have been letdowns from the people around you that you thought you were doing a good thing by investing your time and energy in. So it feels now that it's very much a sense that I'm feeling right now of wariness. Like I don't quite trust, you know, what's happening right now. So I feel like you might be in a place of mistrust for a lot of folks that you come across, and it might be causing you to miss out on some good people and good opportunities. So the message that that spirit is trying to convey to you, we have the 7 of Forces, or the 7 of Wands, balance in reverse. So the 7 of Wands in traditional tarot is usually a card of defensiveness, right? Of sort of standing your ground, of protecting yourself, fighting off people who, you know, you perceive as threatening you in some way, whether that's disturbing your peace or physically threatening or anything like that. That being the case, I almost feel like Spirit is saying, okay, you've gone a little bit, like your pendulum has swung a little bit too far. in the opposite direction, where you've sort of taken self-preservation to the next level and you're just completely blocking everybody out. So it feels like your spirit guides are saying it's okay to open up a little bit. You know, you don't have to give all of you away, but it's okay to open up, to get to know other people. And so why this is important for you to know, we have Archangel Gabriel. So, well, we actually have him in reverse. So Gabriel is the messenger, right? It's so Gabriel is also associated with fertility, pregnancy. In this case, I do not believe that there is a pregnancy on the horizon or anything like that. I don't think that that's what this reading is focused on. I'm looking at it more in the context of a new creation, making something new, birthing a new idea, new friendships, new anything. But we have it here in reverse. And so I feel like your spirit guides are saying that you are blocking out new things. Like there could be good news or, you know, a message, a new friendship on the horizon, a new relationship. And it feels like because you're not letting your guard down with anybody, that you are likely to miss out on whatever this could be. So looking at, I feel like this energy around you, it's almost like you want to shake somebody, like, oh my God, you're going to miss this. Like, pay attention, wake up, wake up, wake up, wake up. So how, your spirit guides are trying to help you. We have the One of Keys, the Architect. This is the Ace of Pentacles in traditional tarot. And so this is always something new, right? And with the Pentacle, with the key, this is something that's tangible. This is something that's stable. This is something that's long term, that's coming in. So they're going to show you this opportunity. And I think that it's going to be up to you whether or not you're actually able to take advantage of it. And that's going to be based on how far your walls are up and how much you're not sort of opening yourself up to opportunity, that you're not letting your heart chakra sing a little bit. So I almost feel like this is a little bit of a test that's coming up. It's like they're dangling this opportunity in front of you. And it's like, are you going to accept it or are you not? So what we have for you in terms of what you can do in helping in this process, we have the Queen of Scrolls in reverse. This is the Queen of Swords in traditional tarot. And we also have Adsum. So this is actually one of my favorite cards, the Adsum card, because it shows a woman who's here and she's reading. She's already read a ton of books. She has one in her lap. She has more books that are on the way. This is someone who is very thoughtful. This is someone who doesn't suffer fools lightly. So this is someone who does their research. They're fully aware. They're informed. They're smart. But, you know, she also understands that she has this angel here to protect her. She has this other guy in the back, maybe an ancestor, to protect her. There's this light of illumination and warmth that surrounds her. So she has that sort of balance, right? Where she's very thoughtful about things, but understands that she can be open to them because she has this protection around her. And with the Queen of Swords in reverse, you know, this is someone who, when they communicate with others, when they interact with others, they're warm, they're open, right? Queen of Swords upright is somebody who is very cutting. They're very direct. They're very sharp and to the point. And so I feel like this is a good time for you to show a little bit of your softer side. I'm not saying to go out there like the Stay Puft Man and just be squishy for any and everybody thing that comes across your path, but it's okay for you to open up a little bit. It's okay for you to take those steps to get to know people. You'll do your work. You will absolutely do your work, and you have a lot of protection around you. You have, an ancestor who's here with her sword ready to chop people in half if they mess with her kin. So you're good. Now, the potential outcome that we have for you, we have the Six of Scrolls, or the Six of Swords in reverse, the Sands of Time. And then we also have Birth, the 4 card, which in, some decks, the 1111 card, all of that good stuff. So what I'm feeling for my Amaretto lovers out there is that I think it's going to take a little bit for you to let your guard down. I think that there's been a lot that's happened. I feel like having these walls up has come righteously, right? That you've been through some things, and the most important thing for you was really making sure that you protect yourself, that you don't end up in the same situations or feeling the same way that you did previously. And that required you to shut off for a little bit. But I do think that, your guides are saying that it's okay for you to start opening yourself up to this world. It's okay for you to start exploring again, because you've learned your lessons. You know what to look for. You're smarter than you were the last time. So trust yourself, trust in them, that you can start creating new relationships with people that, are not going to be built overnight. It's going to be a very, very stepwise process. And this can be for romantic relationships. This can be for friendships. It's all about having those incremental bits of trust being built up. So this is not something that you need to do overnight, but it does feel as though you are going to have enough of a shift and being open enough to allow people in that it could represent the start of something pretty lovely for you guys. So let's pull one last oracle card for you and see what final message Spirit has. Final messages. Whew. Thought that came out, but it did not, but that one did. All right. So what we have for you is Ishtar, boundaries. Love yourself enough to say no to others' demands on your time and energy. So I think that this card, guys, is a bit of a reinforcement, right? With what Spirit was saying, that you're smart. You'll do your research. You will make sure that the person that you're dealing with is worth your time and energy. You know what boundaries to set. You know how it felt before. You don't want to repeat those feelings again. So this is a reminder that you can be open within the boundaries that are most comfortable for you. So there's that balance to be had. And I think that you guys are going to find it, because there's something new on the horizon for you. So I'm going to leave it there for you guys. I hope that this was helpful, and I hope that it resonated. If it did, make sure to like, share, and subscribe. But in the meanwhile, stay safe, stay healthy, and I am sending you all huge hugs.